And all I'm gonna say is the moral of the story is do not talk to men that are under 6 foot. No.
Girls can never say they want it. Girls can never say they need it. Girls can never say they want it.
Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, I'm tonibryanne, and in today's video I'm going to be telling you guys about my worst date ever. Okay, so we're gonna get into this. Okay, so I'm just gonna quickly start with a story because y'all know I'm not into like the long intros. We just gonna go straight into this, and y'all gonna hear all the details of this horror story of a date because it's so embarrassing and sad, but it's what happened to me and it's my life, and I guess it's just the fun that comes with dating. So this past summer I was talking to this guy. He was like trying to talk to me for a long time, like since like maybe like March of 2020, and I finally decided to give him a chance one night when I was out drinking. I know, like I was like, you know what the heck, I'm gonna give him a chance because he was constantly DMing me. I was like, I'm gonna give him a chance, whatever. In like July, so this is like 6 months after, I was like, okay, I'm gonna leave him a chance, I'm gonna get to know this kid, whatever. First date, it was like a really good date, but honestly I think it's because was that my first date that I went on since being single? I think it was my first date. Yeah, it was my first date. Oh my god, yo, I went on like 2 dates that weekend. I went on like dates back to back. With 2 different guys. I was having some fun. So that was the first date that I went on. So I went on the date with him. We had like a really good time, but I just really don't understand. I'm thinking that I thought it was such a good time because of me just not having any like male attention really because of COVID. Because honestly, after going on some of the dates I've gone on now, like it was just a regular date, but I think it's just because I wasn't really getting any male attention, only through social media. Not really in person. Well, not in person at all, because that was the first day I went on. So another thing I want to add on also that I didn't like that he did on the date, he kept like, I remember we had some conversation, we were talking about money, and he kept like talking about like how he feels like a lot of women use men for money, and I was like, ugh, if y'all know me, I don't like when guys say that. I think that it's so stupid. Like, why do you feel the need to mention money? Because like I think that any man that is comfortable in himself and comfortable with the money he makes, he'll never mention I think women use men for money, because they just got it like that. It's the brokies that be saying that, and if y'all know me, I don't play that. It's stupid. Like if you don't have, like most guys, you don't have to have a crap load of money, but like if you just take care of your girl, make sure she's good, like there's no topical conversation with money that has to come up. But anyways, he did that. And another thing that he did that I did not like was that when we were at the restaurant, well, before we went, he came from Queens, picked me up from Jersey, because I lived in Jersey, and we went to somewhere in Jersey City, which is like, Jersey City is like 40 minutes away from me. So we went to Jersey City, and we go to this restaurant. Now wherever we were in Jersey City, super crowded, like there's always stuff going on. Not super crowded, I guess we'll say like it was super well known. It's like a nice strip. It's a strip of like bars and restaurants, super cute, super nice. So we get to the restaurant and he's like, oh hey, I'm looking for a table for 2, and she's like, well, we're booked up for like the next 3 hours. And I was like, oh, you didn't get reservations? And he's like, no, like, I didn't think da, da, da. Now typically, I still think it's important to get reservations. I feel like you just should get reservations to make sure you guys could sit right when you get there. But also with COVID going on in a pandemic, you need to get reservations. There are barely any restaurants that are like, you don't need a reservation, especially like a restaurant that's well known in that area. Like you're gonna need a reservation. That's kind of obvious. So I was a little annoyed with that, but it was fine. It was summertime. I said, it's fine, we'll just sit on the bench. You know, I was trying to make the best out of it. So we sat on the bench, we talked a little bit, and that's when he talked about the money thing, which was annoying. But overall, I thought it was a really good date at the time. Anywho, so fast forward to our exchanges. So one thing I used to know through text was that every time me and him would text, I felt like he was constantly trying to downplay me, and that used to really irritate me. And so that is kind of a red flag. Like if you guys are constantly arguing, just know that it's most likely because y'all don't need to be together. That's kind of toxic. If y'all are arguing before y'all in a relationship, that means like you guys are gonna argue while you're in a relationship, and it's gonna be 10 times worse. So don't even waste your time. But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna talk to we're gonna go on another date, because he asked me out on another date. I was like, I'm just gonna go, whatever. Maybe we're just better in person. So the one thing that he used to always do during text that I did not like was that, and FaceTime of course, was that I felt like he constantly kept trying to put me down. Like, so he was 23, I'm 19, he still lived at home, he was still in school, I was going into my junior year of college. I have 1 year of college now left, and I would talk about like, you know, all the things I would do. Like, so he would say things like this, like, oh, I said to him once, like, you know, like, yeah, after I graduate, like, I really don't plan on moving back home. I just don't want to. I want to have my own place because I just kind of value my own space, and especially with COVID going on, like, I kind of got a year snatched from me of just being an independent woman. So I was like, yeah, that's just not in my, you know, I can't do that. And he was like, well, you know, like, a lot of people that are my age, like, or older, he's like, all my friends like 23 to like 27, a lot of them still live at home, or they just moved out, or they have roommates. So like, you know, I just feel like that's like an unrealistic goal. And I'm like, unrealistic? So it's unrealistic that I know that I'm going to be fine after college. And like, just certain things we'd argue about, like, not argue, but like, I guess disagree with, and it kind of would turn into an argument. Like, I said, I'm not going to stay home, because he said he wants to stay home until he pays off all his student loans. I'm like, I'm not doing that. I'm going to move out when I want to, live my life. I'm not letting student loans control my life. I'm gonna live my best life. And I said, I know for a fact that whatever field I get into, I will be able to pay them off. Like, I'm gonna be good always. And he kept always making this face. I used to hate this face he'd make. He'd be like kind of like, that's not gonna happen. I'm like, bro, just because you're still 23 and you live at home, which there's nothing wrong with that, but don't try and make me feel less than because you're still in that situation. Like, you do what you gotta do, whatever. Fast forward, he asked me out to go out to eat. I just did not want to go out to eat with him. Really, I didn't want to go on the date with him, like I said, because of the arguing. Just like, he just gave me like these weird vibes, like he constantly was trying to put me down. And I actually looked that up. It's called negging, like when guys constantly feel the need to put you down. And that's exactly what he was doing. He was negging me, okay? So negging basically is when men date a woman or they talk to a woman, they feel that is way out of their league, they try and bring them down 2 to 3 notches, which is what he kept doing to me, which I thought was super whack. I did not like that. But I was like, I'm just gonna go on this date with him because, like I said, it's a free meal, a good time, whatever, like, it is what it is. So we go out. You could tell I didn't really want to be there, which I was trying not to. Like, I really was trying my best not to like look like I didn't want to be there. But like, once I got in the car, he kind of could tell. So he came to my grandmother's house because my grandma lives in New York. So he lives in New York as well. So he pulled up on me at my grandma's house, and then he picked me up and we drove to the restaurant or whatever. And he's like, are you good? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. But I think it's because like, I'm super talkative. I'm a great conversationalist. Like, I know how to hold a conversation. So like, when I'm quiet, that's like kind of obvious, like, oh, there's something off, like, yeah, whatever. So after that, I try to like clean it up, whatever. So at the restaurant, like I said, he did get reservations, but we actually got there way too early. So we walked around for a little bit. For like 30 minutes, we had to wait. So we walked around, we sat on a bench, we're talking, and this one red flag he said to me was that basically his mom and his dad, like, he didn't really like their marriage. Like, his dad felt like a woman should just stay in a woman's place, and that a woman should do the housekeeping and take care of the kids type stuff. And I was like, that's weird. So I asked him, I was like, okay, like, is that something that you want as like in a wife? Like, do you like look at their marriage as like something that you want? He's like, yeah, no, like, I just don't like that. But I was like, your father kind of has like a huge impact on you. Like, how could you have not picked up any of these traits? So I just thought that was like a little bit weird. And you know, I was like, okay, like, that's just kind of red flag. So then we went to the restaurant, we sat down, I was back to my normal self a little bit. Like, I got back, you know, because the conversation we had on the bench was honestly not that bad. So we sit down, we're at the table, and I don't know how this conversation came up. It was towards the end of our meal, like we were like waiting on the check. He's like talking to me, and we're like talking about like, I guess, like, I don't know how we got into this conversation, but I know I mentioned the fact, like, you know, I could get any guy that I want. I was like basically saying, like, you know, like, I feel like the way that I am as a woman, like, I could get anybody I want because I feel like I'm the full package. Like, we were just talking about that, and he was just like, he made this face, like the face I told you, like, he made on FaceTime when he's like this, like, really, you get any guy you want? I'm like, yeah, I could. I still, because like everything I have going for myself, like, it goes way further than looks. Let's just say that I have a great personality. I know how to hold a conversation. All my stats when it comes to school, when it comes to my YouTube channel, I'm always on it. I do what I gotta do. I have a great family, and then the looks come in too, baby. Okay, I'm the full package. All right, let's not get it twisted. Me being on this date with you when you're like a solid 6, let's relax. Okay. But anyways, he's like saying that. I said, why are you like this? Like, I literally said to him, that's like my line. It reminds me of like The Office when Michael said that to Toby, like, why are you like this? So I literally asked him, I was like, why are you like this? He said, what do you mean? I was like, why do you, I feel like you constantly try to put me down. Like, what is that? Like, what is this? And he's like, what do you mean? Like, da da da. My entire mood shifted. Like, I was like, okay, just take me home. I'm never talking to this guy again. So we get up, we're walking, and he's like trying to talk to me again. I knew he noticed that my entire vibe changed, but he's trying to talk to me again. I'm like, I'm not talking to him. And I was like, yeah, I was just being like dry. He's like, what's wrong with you now? And I'm like, I was like, oh no, there's nothing. Like, I just want to go home. Like, take me home, whatever. So we're in the car and he is really angry. Like, he starts speeding and I was like, what? Like, you're doing a lot right now. I barely know you. I don't know what you about to do. We're at a red light and I got out the car and I was like, all right, if you're gonna do all this, like, I'm out the car. And he goes, oh, get back in the car. And I was like, no, it's fine. I'll find somebody to pick me up. When I tell you, y'all, this man said, all right, remember that, like yelling out the window, and he drives off. I was like, I never in a million years expected him to drive off. Now, I did not want to be in the car with him because I felt unsafe. Like, I didn't like that speeding stuff. You're doing too much. And he was like saying stuff under his breath. I'm like, that's a little bit weird. I met you on a dating site. I've seen, you know, I watched ID. I don't know what you about to do. But it's like, you would think that you would try and a guy would pull over or reassure you like, okay, I'm fine. It's fine. Like, I don't want to make you feel unsafe. I felt unsafe. And he drove off. So I'm calling my mom, like, mom, like, come get me. Like, he drove off. They're like, he drove off. I was like, yes. And it was like a big thing. So my mom ended up calling me an Uber because, like, basically, like, with the traffic for them to get there, it was like there was a bunch of traffic, so they wouldn't be there for like an hour. Mind you, I'm sitting in, I'm from New York, but like I didn't grow up in New York, so like wherever I am, I don't know where to go. And plus with COVID happening, like, you can't just sit in a store or go shopping or look around. So my mom's like, just get an Uber, I'll pay for it, and come back home. So after that, I blocked him completely. Never heard from him again. I blocked him on, well, first he unfollowed me on Instagram. And then I blocked him on Instagram, and then I blocked his number. So I don't know if he ever contacted me again, but that was just weird. And all I'm gonna say is, the moral of the story is, do not talk to men that are under 6 foot. No. But he was the shortest guy I ever talked to. Like, he was 5'8". I never talk to guys 5'8". 5'10" is pushing it. Like, I normally talk to guys that are like taller, but whatever. And honestly, I was like way out of his league. Like, I'm never giving a 6.5 a chance again. I was like, you know what? Cause my sister was saying to me, like, you should like give him a chance. And I'm gonna always blame her for that because I was not trying to give him a chance. He was not my type. I didn't think he was cute, but I was like, I'm gonna go on, whatever. Like, I need to stop being so picky. But ladies, be more picky. He didn't have like any qualifications that I want. Like, for me, I know I'm gonna be great regardless. Like, I know I'm be straight. I just feel like it's comfortable knowing a guy has his own place. He's graduated. He's in his career path. Like, I just feel more comfortable with a man that is already established or beginning to become established. He gave me a lot of loose holes, and he had no idea when he was gonna move out his mama's house. And I'm like, baby. So yeah, that was the story time of how he drove off and I never heard from him again. Honestly, he gave me some really scary red flags. Like, even like when he started speeding and was saying that stuff under his breath, I don't know what the heck he was gonna do or where he was gonna take me. I don't know, but just like from like the situation with his mom, and then him talking about the money, and then our conversations and him trying to put me down, him negging me, and then him driving off like that was somebody I did not need to talk to. So I'm glad that he did what he had to do so that I could cut that boy off and chuck the deuces real quick. All right, guys, so that is the end of this story time. If y'all like this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Comment down below some of your craziest dating experiences, especially with online dating. I would love to know. And yeah, I will see you all in my next video. Love you guys. Bye. Mwah.